On today's episode, we're going to be breaking out some cards out of their slabs. The first one here is Garchomp from Paradox Rift. So we're going to get a good look at this one here. And then the second one is going to be this Tyranitar and Mega Sableye. These are two cards I picked up within the past year, and to me, both look undergraded. So we're going to break them out. We're going to send them to PSA. So I've had a good bit of success with doing this in the past. And there's no foolproof way to really know what the surface looks like until you get the card out. But for the most part, you can kind of, you can see the card and you do as best a job as you can, like looking at the corners, looking at the surface, looking at the edges. Obviously the centering is really easy to see. Like this card right here, that's definitely going to pass over at PSA to get a PSA 10. If you find any CGC 9 labels, sometimes you can get them for really cheap. Like I got this card for $180 last week, which is kind of crazy if you want to go look at like recent solds on eBay. This is a really cool card, and it goes for a lot more in PSA. I don't want to talk dollars too much, but because we're not really here to talk about the market. If I wanted to do that, I would just pull up TCG Player and we'd be looking at illustration rares. But really what we're trying to do is look at the condition of this card. Now look at the back of this card, right? Like the corners, the centering, everything looks really nice. Now there may be a scratch that I don't see or something like that that's holding this back from getting a 10 or getting a 9.5. But also with CGC, especially with a blue labeled CGC, which is like their old label, they were gatekeeping 9.5s and 10s for a long time. So sometimes you can find really minty cards that are CGC 9s. So it's just something you can look out for. And the other one we're going to look at here is the Garchomp. This is from Paradox Rift. Also a really nice looking card. BGS is pretty strict on their grading scale, so a 9.5 oftentimes gets transferred over to a PSA 10. Not all the time, but oftentimes. We've done this a couple times with going from BGS 9.5 to a 10 over a PSA. Especially with Scarlet and Violet era, one of the things you're gonna see a lot is like you'll see a little white dot here, or a little like surface, edging, edgeware or whatever. It's really common with Scarlet and Violet era stuff because it's not printed as well. At least not as well as Sword and Shield was. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do it. First, you wanna wear these guys because honestly, like the shards like fly everywhere, so you have to be really careful. And we're gonna go one at a time. I think we're gonna do let's do the Tyranitar first. Yep, so you just put it in the bag. And the reason why you put it in a bag is because you really don't want to get like plastic all over your room. Trust me, these like little acrylic cases or whatever, these plastic cases are like crazy how they can split and just send plastic pieces all over your office. You'll be cleaning it up for a year. So with CGC, this is a little bit difficult. Like I've seen, kind of split down here, and you really don't want that because you don't want to damage the card. But you're really just trying to grab that corner. Here we go. Just want to break the corner. All right, cool. Just like that. You can see we kind of broke that corner off right there. See that? All right, so now we're gonna take it out of the bag. We're gonna try and work the slab open carefully. So this is what we're gonna do. We got a flat head right here. We're gonna put this in here like so, and really just carefully sort of like work this open. Don't go down here with it. Just go like literally stay right here and just pry. That way you don't like accidentally shove that down there. But like, let's take a look at this card right quick. Okay, I've always wanted one of these in my collection, and like look how nice this looks. To me, like this looks really good. Yeah, I mean the texture, all that crazy good stuff. Like you can't tell me, CGC, if you're listening, what in the world, dude? Like you cannot tell me that this isn't a 10. Look at the surface on this card, guys. I'm actually like shaking a little bit because this is a card that I've really wanted for a long time. All right, so we're gonna sleeve this bad boy up and drop it into a card saver. You want to make sure to really look at the card and make sure that it doesn't have any plastic pieces on it. Because if it does and you put a sleeve on it, you'll scratch it as it goes into the sleeve. I literally don't see a single thing wrong with it, maybe other than centering. Back in 2020, 2021, they were super strict on centering over at CGC, so you can find these lots of times. And there you have it, Tyranitar and Sableye from Unified Minds. One of my favorite cards, maybe actually my favorite card from Sun and Moon. It's definitely up there. It's top 3. I don't know why. I just love this card so much. The texture looks awesome. Like, I love these little gems. Those gems right there are so cool looking, especially in person when you've seen this. It really does pop. Like, it's a really nice card. You know, you guys maybe didn't get like a perfect view of the card, but I'll be very surprised if that's not a 10. And I will do a video when it comes back. We'll look at it. All right, so next card, we have the Garchomp. We're gonna do the same thing. Try and just get that corner. That's really all you want to do. All right, here we go. You ready? I hate doing this so much. Perfect. Perfect. We got the corner really nicely. We should be able to do this with no problem at all. But yeah, so you just take this flathead, throw it in there. I like to use a smaller flathead because I think it just makes it easier to get in there. The other thing with Beckett is they usually sleeve their like the card on the inside. So it's not foolproof. Like, you know, obviously like you can still damage the card, but it does make me feel a little bit better when I'm trying to get a, when I'm trying to get a slab open. I swear Beckett's the easiest because you don't really have to worry so much about scuffing the card if you're just careful. Sweet. So we cut the top. Let me take the card out and let's have a look at it. All right, so Beckett is saying this is a 9.5. To me, this just looks phenomenal. It looks phenomenal. Like, I mean, it really doesn't have any problems with it at all. All right, let me get this stuff out of the way so we can really get a good look at it. All right, let's take a look at the Garchomp. So we got it here. Looks really good. I don't see any problems with it at all. A lot of times with, like I said earlier, Scarlet and Violet, you're gonna have those little white dots. And you gotta try to see that before you crack it out of the slab because sometimes, especially if you go with CGC, I've noticed a lot of the CGC 10 special illustration rares will have white dots on the back, and you really don't want that with PSA because they will knock it. It's not common that they'll pass you from a 9 to a 10 if they see little white dots. And I've been noticing at CGC, they've been letting some of those fly and then giving perfects or pristines to the cards that have perfect centering and, cards that have no white dots. So anyway, that's just something to be careful of. All right, so this card's ready for PSA and this card's ready for PSA. The two bangers, two modern bangers. Yeah, these are ready to go. So we'll send this out with our next submission and I will let you know the part 2, how these come back. But yeah, that's basically, that's how you do it. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for watching today and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.